Hello again, Grown Black Folks Talk. Types of people to leave in 2022. Part 4. People who essentially want to use you as a human shield. There are two subclassifications of this. These people come in both the very open form of they instigate things that you have to then go and attempt to clean up, or that's a very open front thing that can happen live, that can happen in public. Or these are people that are involved with things and they try to manipulate you into getting on the front line instead of them. That's more subtle. I need to talk about the direct one because we don't like to talk about the direct one. Um, Obviously, well, no, it's not always obvious. If you grew up, if you went to school and you were around people that friends that always started fights and then expected you to come show up when you didn't have anything to do with that, and then somehow disappeared and let you get beat down, you already understand how this works. You are basically being used as a human shield for other people solving problems. Now, I shouldn't need to tell you if you're involved at all in life in the Black community and you keep up at all with different things that go on, you should already know that this type of behavior, as violent as the United States in general has become, and as deprived as the Black community is beginning to be because of the recession, you ought to already know that this is a problem. I hope some of your elders said, like my father said it to me, if you don't want to get hit by a rock, don't go where they're throwing them. Well, there are people out here who are basically throwing rocks and wanting to hide behind you when all the rocks come back. One of the complaints that I take more seriously that Black men have about certain Black women is that they get with out of control Black women who then create situations that because they are the men for these women, are expected to protect these women from. There is legal, statistical, and anecdotal evidence to suggest that there are Black women who see Black men as their uh, proxy violence arm. This happens. This is an issue. Man, there is a certain number of Black men who create situations also. But we need to be fair here. If two Black men have to get into it, the incidence of Black men killing Black men is more than 6 times higher. So we do have to look at and be fair, as I say all the time. We must be strict, but we must be fair. This is one of those cases where there's direct instigation. Direct instigation can take place online. You're out here cyberbullying someone, you're out here getting in somebody's grill, and that problem comes back to you because not you, but someone else is out here that that cyberbullying, and that problem ends up coming back to your door because you're connected with them in some way. So people who start up fights and expect you to show up, you need to not show up. You need to leave them in 2022. There is another variation of this, and it's probably a little bit more complicated to leave it. This can also happen in the workforce because there are a lot of very passive aggressive people in the workforce. They keep stuff going with their coworkers, they keep stuff going, and then you end up being the cleanup person that has to make things work. This also happens in the workforce. If this continues to happen, I know that you need your job. I get it, but I keep mentioning the same people on this channel. You need to you need to, as Black women making money will say, you need to skill up. There's some channels you need to look up. You need to look up Black women making money. You need to look up Mocha Mommy. If you are a man and you would prefer to hear from a man, you need to hear from Tony Gaskins and go to TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. You need to listen to JT Automations. You need a side hustle because you may need to get out of there. Your working life may be wrecked anyway because people think that you are going to clean up the messes. It's like the people who used to send me things that needed to be done Friday at 5 o'clock at 1:40 in the afternoon. I had to let them know, you're not going to cause a whole mess and then have me come do cleanup. Absolutely not. Okay. There's another variation of this. I said there were two, but there's a double subclass of there's a subclassification of the less dramatic classification. Let's go back here. Okay. No need to stress everybody out. Then the other one just has to do with the fact you have people that love to instigate drama, but they're going to put you out front to fix it. This happens online and all. You have that one friend. And it may, like I said, it may not be at that level that we actually gonna start a fight, but you end up spending way too much energy having to water bear for them. Uh, Another version of the way this comes up is notice who protests for whom. Black women have spent a lot of time on the front lines protesting from a great number of black men. But Breonna Taylor, Corner Stevens, and Sandra Bland just didn't get that same energy. We also don't want to talk about the long process by which George Floyd was in a situation that he would be under Derek Chauvin's knee. A lot of black women went really hard for him in protest. But if you do your history on George Floyd, this is not a man who respected black women or their children in the womb. Again, people, now, let me be very clear. There was nothing that George Floyd did that caused him to deserve being murdered by this horrible excuse for a law enforcement officer upholding the old racist traditions instead of being willing to protect and serve all American citizens. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But a lot of people are out here expecting that they're going to live a lifetime of whatever. And then, unfortunately, when that pattern of life ends up with them intersecting with something, then we're expected to go and carry the torch and carry the water for this. Stop it. Leave the habit in 2022. Leave people like that in 2022. Now that's an extreme case. But this also happens vicariously. I've talked recently about all these people going hard for Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. Now that's kind of fallen out of the news, and I'm not going to go back into those details. But a whole lot of people are going out there trying to boss up on the people that own them, or at least own their contracts, and getting exactly what happens to you when you try to do that. And then we get up and we go hard for them like fools, because that's not how any of this works, and we waste time. These people started a fight that they can't win, but it's not necessarily your fight. So stop jumping in front of fights that you're not involved in. Stop being used by other people to carry their water and their torches and their weapons, who are going to throw rocks, hide their hands, and get behind you and let you bear the burden of it. Stop. Some of you know in 2022 how serious I am about not being in situations where drama is created and I am expected to clean it up. I'm leaving that behavior of my own in 2022. And I advise you to do the same. Some of you, I did the video about types of people to leave men who have social harems. That's another version of that. That's another version of that. You know, keeping drama going by having people together that don't belong together. That's another version of that. Keeping people together because they're hoping to get at that man. But of course, they can't because that man is not interested in being got at. He wants all those people around so he can suck energy from all of them. And that creates drama, and you don't need to clean that up. That's a fight this man is having for himself. I was asked about a very prominent YouTuber who keeps talking about marriage, but there are 18 million black women and he can't seem to find one. That's not a problem with all 18 million black women because he can't possibly know all of them. But I happen to know that he has a lot of contradictory information that he has received over the years, and there's some hurt and there's some things that need to be worked on. And until he gets that worked on, that's a fight he's having with himself. There's no reason for us to go out and bury any water from him. Don't be used as a human shield in 2023. Leave everybody that tends to treat you that way, you the cleanup person, you the one that has to jump out in front of messes that they made, or you just have habits of choosing to jump out in front without realizing, is this even a fight I need to be in? Leave all those people and leave that bad habit in 2022. Y'all have a good day now. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. I forgot to say that in the previous video. Goodbye. You know, it probably would help if I click this off now, wouldn't it? Bye.